Welcome to the first ever State of Male Entertainment. Thank you for watching and listening in. And now, please welcome the host of this series, none other than Sigma Jones.
Thank you, Master Oogway. Greetings and welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. This is the first series of Male of State Entertainment, and we definitely got a lot to talk about. And we're definitely going to have some more people come up pretty soon, but we got the usual suspects as always from our Villain of the Month series. And so I got to start with the individual, actually, I would say one of the greatest minds off to my right hand side, and that's none other than Lawrence Guy. How's it going, good sir?
Damn, greatest minds. Yeah, if I'm a villain, yeah, maybe. But yo, man, man, you got me fired up with that song, man. That was good stuff, baby. I mean, you made me flash back to a young man. I'm ready to start. I'm ready to start talking '70s again. You know what I'm saying? Pull that skin off that fat. Can you dig it?
Man, I think one of these days, uh, I'll put it like this: I'll keep it a secret, and people just gonna have to find this channel later on in the future. But one of these days, I might do like a jazz channel where I actually play some of the bass and upright bass and everything, do some sound covers. But the trick is, y'all gonna have to find that. I won't be sharing that with everybody.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. But like I said, man, that was good. I mean, everybody, we could have went a little bit longer with that one, man. That was good.
Oh,
That was good.
believe me, I'll probably start doing some like jazz music behind the scenes, playing while we talking and everything. Cause believe me, I got more down the pipe. So
That'll
that's
work.
just
That'll
a
work.
tip of the iceberg.
That'll work. Well, as far as it goes for everybody in the chat, welcome, shalom. Good to see everybody. I'm glad everybody's feeling good. This should be a real good conversation, man. We should be fired tonight, man. For real, for real. I got my brother right after me, got my brother Eisen, waiting on everybody else to show up. Let's get it.
Nice. And speaking of Eisen,
All creatures need to obey. No one can survive without trusting someone they feel is better, more worthy than themselves. To avoid that responsibility, those who are worthy look even higher, searching for more superior beings. And those superiors do the same, looking for even stronger individuals they can believe in. That is how all kings are created. It is also how gods are born.
all right, Mr. Eisen Sama, how's it going, good sir?
Oh man, it's going great. Couldn't wait for this one. Thanks for the ominous introduction. I always enjoy that. Glad to have my older brother Lawrence up here. It's always fun to have these conversations. I have been waiting on, and I do gotta say, even though I am a blues fan, that jazz intro there, it couldn't help but fire you up. That was really awesome there. So I'm ready to get this thing going.
All right, all right. I'm definitely making notes of some jazz music to play later on. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. So let me just share with the audience why this particular series got started. So if for those who watched the Villain of the Month, if they go back to the episode of Megatron, we were having a discussion where to me, it was a deep dive. And it really started to encompass a lot of things that goes on with the comic world, the animation world, the entertainment and everything. And it was such a deep dive that I was like, you know what? This needs to have its own series because it was so much expertise going on between Aizen Sama, Lawrence Guy, my friend Logic's Finest, and all. And to me, it was like, why stop it to just one episode? Let's create a whole series about it. And so these gentlemen came up with the idea of, hey, let's call it State of Male Entertainment. And that's where we are here today. And so, if anything, I really want to pick up from that conversation that we had on the Megatron episode, where we were kind of talking about some of the issues that we have perceived with certain characters, certain industries, companies, organizations, and how over time they seem to kind of like do things differently to what we grew up to doing so. So I'm actually start off with Lawrence Guy because he's the gentleman that is well into the comic industry and knows the ins and outs. And so, good sir, if you can start off as far as like our last conversations on that Megatron series that kind of sparked that particular talking point.
Yeah, sure. Before we begin, disclaimer, real quick. If you SJW, feminist, snowflake, yada yada yada, leave now. Five, four, three, two, one. You've been warned. Okay, so here's the deal. The problem we have, and what bled into the conversation we had before, is there seems to be a concrete and concerted effort in trying to remove character designs and analysis that have always been the foundation of the heroic ideal for young men to aspire to. Okay. Do we have our fathers? Sure. But our media, as much as I hate to admit it, plays a bigger play on us because we can always remember our first, whoever, we all got our own, our first Batman, who that is, our first Doctor who that is. So that's how the conversation generally kicked off. And it was just, by the time we all got said and done, we were getting so deep, we ran over time. But like I said, it seems to be a concrete effort to just take away that aspect of entertainment from young men that gets us to be who we are, allows us to be a bit more introspective, if that makes sense.
Right,
Oh, there
right.
you yeah, there you go, truism. There you go. That's what I was looking for. The hero's journey. They trying to take it. Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, that's where I I definitely feel like for some reason, like today, I was at the barber shop and I was telling my barber about the new Sonic movie that came out, Sonic Two, and I told him one thing I really liked about the movie is they still made an original story. Even though it may not have been exactly as far as like the timelines and all, what happened in the Sonic arcs and all, they still made the story original, which was worth watching. Whereas compared to, like you point out, with Marvel and DC and some of the more well known comic series, today they're just rehashing the same storylines. Like nothing is original about it. And then on top of that, you're changing up these characters that really just makes no sense. Like I'm sorry. And I'll be the first to say this. I can't relate to an alphabet Superman. So I'm sorry.
Well, I
That's
mean,
just
well, well. To be honest, you know what? I have something I want to say about that, but I want to let Brother Eisen go first.
yeah, Isaac, you got the floor.
I definitely wanted to kind of leave off from where you talked about the hero's journey. Um, the other aspect of that is a hero is only compelling and as good as his villain. They've watered down the villain. They've made nothing compelling about the villain. Um, they nerfed them in terms of not only physical abilities, but also mental and as well as their reason for doing what they're doing. Uh, there's nothing compelling about it. Whenever they try to do something, and then on the point that Sigma was making about not making anything new, just rehashing, you almost can't even call it rehashing just because they take it and change it and make it and turn it into crap. Uh, they turn it into crap from what it originally was. So they took an already created concept and made it worse than what it ever was before.
Well, well, the thing, okay, there's a couple of points. What you started off with what they do to the villains, that's partially it. We see that happening a lot more. But I think one of the things I see, and this is specifically for comic books, I don't really get
Gotcha.
in everything else, but just speaking from a comic book perspective, what I've seen is what they've done is they've taken like, I mean, some hardcore villains we've known all our lives, you know what I'm saying? From Thanos to Doom to Luther and everybody else we've ever talked about and those that are coming. What they've done is they've actually, how can I put this? I've spent 50 plus years watching Lex Luthor go toe to toe to Superman.
Mm.
And Superman is, he always outwits Superman. You know what I mean? I've seen Reed Richards go against Doctor Doom 40, 50 something years, and it's always a stalemate. And then all of a sudden you get this tiny little 15-year-old Asperger's kid in a stolen Iron Man suit that she claims she originally made, and she goes and defeats him and takes over the whole country. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
That went to my last point about taking concepts and then just crapping on them that were already
Yeah. Now taking concepts and here's the thing, and I think this is something I think this is something Logic and I had touched on during that stream. What we have is we have a bunch of writers who haven't lived anything, haven't read the classics, don't understand the foundations to the hero's journey, and they come in and they think they're the greatest writers since sliced bread. And what they're doing, and they think we don't know, because everybody knows, even them. Everybody knows you have no skill, you have no creativity, you have nothing. That's why you have to take someone else's and twist it to make it fit the dynamic that you want to. Because what we're getting now in comic books and movies and video games is not classic storylines. What we're getting is fan fiction. What we're getting is self inserts. What we're getting is NPCs. That's what we're getting.
And you know what? And on the fan fiction aspect, we can't even call it fan fiction just because we know that most of these individuals have no prior knowledge to the lore that they're supposed to be contributing to, nor do they even care. It's one thing to have an untalented individual working on this project who actually cares versus one who's untalented and doesn't even give a crap.
Right, that's true. That's true. And just like again, going back to the conversation, with Logic now, when I was explaining to him why that is the way it is with the writing and all that good stuff, because every decade or two, writing styles have changed. That's always been the case. It's always been the case. How Shakespeare wrote is not how H.G. Wells wrote. How H.G. Wells wrote is not how Arthur Conan Doyle wrote. How Arthur Conan Doyle wrote is not how Stephen King writes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every decade or two, the style changes, and that's fine. But the problem we have here is that what we currently have is, like I said, they're not sticking to the standard constructs of not just the hero's journey, but just basic storytelling foundation. You know what I'm saying? Just basic mythology. I mean, they come in, and you could tell by their responses when they put something out, because it's never about whether or not the quality of the story is good. It's not whether or not the character is solid and tight. It's always about, if you don't like this, you're this. And when you have to go off that foundation to get people to respond or hate watch or whatever you want to call it, your stuff sucks. I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? I work on stuff too. And yes, there's a certain amount of fear, and this happens with anything, not just writing. You're always afraid to put yourself out there because of rejection. But that's why when it comes to writing, you always live by the standard principle. You write what you love. You write what you want to see, and then you let everybody else come to it. But even with that, you cannot forget the basic principles. You just can't. You have to have like I told somebody before you build your hero, build your villain. You have to decide the villain first. You have to understand the level of capability the villain's going to have, how far the villain's willing to go, because that is going to be the foundation that literally defines your hero. You can't get past that.
That's a good point.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
Yeah,
Let
Sigma
me
joined me. Have you joined in?
Not bad. Let me introduce another good friend of mine, A Truism. He's also been a supporter of the Black Rollers podcast and everything. And definitely y'all have to check out his channel. He got some very interesting topics and all. And actually, A Truism, I got your Black Rollers intro created, but that won't premiere until the Saturday coming up. So definitely you want to stick around to that. But good sir, since you are now here, what are your thoughts at the moment?
Well, brother, firstly, it's a big honor for you to actually go through that trouble to make an intro for me on your channel. I definitely do appreciate that, bro. Thank you for that. Here's the thing. As the good brother, I believe this is Lawrence Guy. That's up to my top, I guess, from on the screen. Top.
Yeah,
right.
right.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I've also done a bit of writing here and there, XYZ. And what you're saying is exactly correct. What these particular individuals are doing, they are corrupting the entire process of trying to tell a narrative. They are just now using this particular process to just preach at people and trying to push forward this idea that, well, female is good, black female is good, black female gay is good, black gay exactly is good, yada yada yada, rainbow coalition feminism is good. And
everything but straight, everything but straight. Yeah, correct. Everything but straight is good. Yeah,
everything that is straight and or male.
That's correct.
Is good, and they're doing it so they're doing it so hard. They're pushing it so hard, and they're forgetting just the basis of proper character creation. They're skipping the very point of what makes the character what it is. Whenever someone asks me how do they go about doing writing, I guess everybody here has heard of Orson Scott Card, right?
Oh yeah. Alvin the Maker, if I remember correctly.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
He actually had a series of books that I've actually read on how to write science fiction and fantasy, and he has what's called the MICE system. The way I broke it down is something a little bit more simpler for myself because that's just the way I do things. But the way the MICE system works is that you go from the way how I tell a person that they're going to write a story is you can either do it one of two ways. You can either do it from the world down or from the character up. By that I mean you do it based upon the relations that are built. So if you're going to do the world, then you have to do the actual kingdoms that are within the world, the people who live within the world, who rule those people who they're influenced, those people who they influence, those people who they influence. You get right down to the point that you get to the character. That's one world down. Going world up, going character up, you either go with the character, then you go with the relationships of who's related to him, those people that are related to them, those people in relation to the government in relation to other governments, and then from that you build out the general story and the setting for the story.
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is that there's two parts to being a writer.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry, real quick before I go into that. SKC. I write all genres. I just focus on comics. That's my thing. I'm just starting to get into prose novelization, and I got a couple of things lined up. But yeah, whatever genre it is, I can do it because I love stories. It doesn't make a difference to me. Now going back to the two types of writers. Okay, there's two types of writers. There's the ones who actually go for formal education and learn story structure, etc., and so on. And then there are those who don't necessarily go to school, but they've studied the craft and so many different writers and creators that they pick it up naturally, and you'll find that they've got a natural disposition for it. Like in comics, a prime example of that would be Alan Moore, who's literally one of the greatest writers ever. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the dude who may have started off a little rough, but you could see he grew into it, and that would be Stan Lee.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, and then you got the ones who actually literally go to school to learn. Neil Gaiman. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, but but like I said, even in all of those,
Uh-huh.
no matter which way you learn,
Yeah.
they are not following what you just finished talking about. Because like I said, it's not just about the mythos, it's not just about the hero's journey. You have to know how to do story structure, you
Yeah.
have to understand pacing, you have to
Hmm.
understand subplots, you have to know how long they should go, when they should pay off, does it bleed back into the overarching story concept,
Correct.
etc., and so on. But like I said, it's that you can tell everybody in it now has had no formal training. And going back to what Eisen said, they don't even care to learn about what already existed before. It's just like somebody said in the chat with from Critical Drinker, who I watch, I love him. It's all about the message. And
Yeah.
then when you say something,
Mm.
well, comics have always been about political messages, no doubt, no
No. Yeah.
argument.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Jack Kirby's first cover to Captain America #1 is him punching Hitler. I mean,
Yep.
right out the
Yeah, it
gate.
is. Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
we've had that.
Yeah.
If you go back to Roger Stern and Mark Gruenwald in the '70s, they did
Mm.
their own version of Watergate with Captain America. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And the whole president. I mean, we've always had social commentary in comics. I mean, Superman, the first superhero, was literally social commentary. He went
Yes.
around beating up dudes who beat women, racketeers, and fighting for the little guy. But again, at the end of the day, the story structure was solid, the pacing was solid, the
Hmm.
mythos was solid. It was
Hmm.
you know, and even when you did social commentary, it always left the story open ended because it allowed the reader to make the decision on which way they wanted to fall on the
Mm.
issue. But we don't have that now. Now what we have is like it will be what we say, how we say it, and you must follow. If not, you are A B C D E F G.
Well, here's the thing that I've noticed. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
No, Adrian, we'll come back to you, but I wanted to let Cool Kamasi get a chance to talk. So we're joined by Cool Kamasi, another cool cat that, part of the underground brotherhood and everything. So good, sir. How's it going? And, what's your thoughts at the moment?
Hey, I just came in, so I'm just give me a few to catch up. I
Well,
was with family,
shalom.
so just give me. Oh yes, good. Well, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So let me just catch up with you guys, man. I'm just listening in, but I'll drop in when I can.
Not a problem. Adrian, go right ahead.
You mentioned Gaiman initially, Lawrence, and
Yeah.
I've been reading through a lot of his work, and I think I'm noticing at least maybe from what I've seen, maybe I might be wrong, but uh, him and Clive Barker, as it were, I'm noticing that there has been, at least from their earlier works, a kind of a gateway into this kind of like preachy narrative that they've done in regards to their characters. Now, from what I'm seeing here, at least from what I saw, it seems like both of these men, if they're not openly male feminists, they have some influence of feminism that drives a lot of their characters. If you read, I'm actually reading through a Magica, as a matter of fact, in the character of what's this doggone girl's name? The main female protagonist, and I keep forgetting what her name is.
What's the show?
No, it's called Imagica. That's the name of the book that Clive Barker wrote. I'm reading my way through that.
It's
And
not ringing the bell. I got Hellbound and Hellraiser and all that other stuff in my head
okay,
with him.
well, let me just give you the Cliff Notes version of it. Imagica is basically the story by Clive Barker. What it does is discusses his own kind of multiverse, as it were, where it's not necessarily actual universes, but they're actually called domains. And there are
Oh,
4
that.
domains.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah, I know what you're
Okay.
talking about now. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So with his female protagonist lead, the actions that if you pay attention, you read those kind of actions, she's not really a very nice character at all. In fact, she's a bitch. But
Well,
because
that's
she's so beautiful, wait, I'm getting to that. But because she's so beautiful, men somehow tolerate that. It's because her femininity and all of the crap that she pulls is somehow just tolerated, all because of this whole. It seems like, at least with Clive Barker, it seems like he almost elevated her to the realm of the sacred feminine where she does not get any kind of real criticism for her actions. In fact, even venerated for it. At least is what I've noticed. And I've seen that with Gaiman's work. This push towards his earlier works was basically pushing more towards the feminine. He's basically definitely with Death in the Sandman works, but in his later works, from what the later books I'm seeing here, he definitely went full on El Gibbet.
Because and the reason he did that is because he's trying to. Okay, it depends on how. No, you're fine. You're fine. It depends on how much people read or whatever. Because I'm about to go someplace. I don't know who knows this, but if you look at that character and you really get down and you strip away all the layers he put on it, all you really have is you have Tarna, one of the short stories in the original Heavy Metal movie from 1980s, that first animated film. And that's the problem. Everybody's trying to build their own Tarna, but what they don't understand is that the reason Tarna is successful is because she doesn't overdo her masculinity in order to compensate for strength, power, or anything like that. That's why when we grew up, nobody had a problem with a muscular, kick-ass Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2. Nobody had a problem with it. Nobody had a problem with Sigourney Weaver kicking alien asses. Men don't have a problem with strong, capable women. We never did. It's
Correct.
just a narrative. It's just a narrative that they built. Now, as far as it goes for the feminist aspect, I can't speak for Clive Barker, but Neil Gaiman, yes, that is absolutely true. He married one who ended up screwing him over and divorced him. So
what?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, let me get your thought on this.
They came to Florida a couple of years ago for book signing and stuff like that. And my ex-wife Camille, when I used to live in New York, I got I got one of the books, Mind Hunters or Dream Hunters or something like for Sandman. It was a hardcover original by a very well-noted Japanese artist. Nice. And I got him to draw inside the book for her and sign and autograph it. Mm-hmm. And when she took it to Neil, he sat there shocked because he's like, okay, this dude doesn't do drawings. Who exactly is your husband? You know, that kind of thing. So, you know, but I with him, with her, you saw it. There's no question that was the case. He was hardcore. You can even see it in his Doctor Who episode about the TARDIS coming alive as a female. You can see it all in there.
Oh boy. How did you feel about JoJo, the last series of the latest JoJo incarnation? How did you feel about that?
The who?
Because I thought JoJo's latest and the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the latest season, which is called Stone Ocean. How do you think the females are played in that? I'm interested to hear that.
That's a new anime.
He's more into much older anime, and then more so comic books and stuff.
All right, my apologies then. But
you're fine.
I'll say this. I think even though it was a female-centered show, I think I actually loved that season. The reason why, and you described it earlier in regards with Tarna from Heavy Metal, she was feminine without being a bitch. There were times where, yes, she had to be, kind of heroic. She had to stand up for herself. She had to fight against odds that unfortunately she wasn't really prepared for at first, and she overcame it. They still stuck with the hero's journey, but there was still a great deal of her femininity that was still retained on it. She still acted coquettish at sometimes. She acted coy sometimes. She acted demure at other points. And this was, I thought, even nowadays, I thought that was one of the best anime series that I've seen performed as of yet.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to say this because we're dominating the conversation.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I want everybody to have a chance to talk. No, you're fine.
Feel free.
You're fine, man. It's just how the conversation flows. But we just got to be aware it's not just me and you, because me and Logic will do that too. So don't take it personal.
That's why I'm just here as a moderator. That's all. But everybody just feel free to jump in when you can.
Yeah. But like I said, this is the problem. And like I said, we've reached a point of no return, because if we look, all of us don't read the same thing. All of us don't watch the same thing, but we're all affected by this.
Correct.
It doesn't make a difference if my love for Star Trek is affected. Eisen's love for Star Wars is affected.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His love for Star Wars, Logic's love of Doctor Who is affected. Yeah, we're all just getting dogged out.
Yeah.
There's no if me, you, them, they. It's us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, but like I said, this goes to show you, and that's one of the things I've always believed in when it comes to being a writer. A writer should be somebody. If you're not at least well traveled, be well read. If you're not if you're not well read, then be a good person who understands and studies human natures and their interactions.
Yeah.
Because what we have now, like I said in the very beginning, is a bunch of people writing stories who haven't experienced anything. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about a bunch of people who grew up just winning trophies just for showing up.
Oh boy.
So they have no gravitas. They have nothing to relate to for problems or horrors in their life, and etc. and so on. I mean, it's just what it is. And like I
Yeah.
said, that's why they're doing what they're doing to our stuff, because they know they have nothing. So the only thing they can do is take what was already there and try and twist it, and then lay claim that they created something new. I mean, prime example, going back to Eisen with Star Wars, Kathleen Kennedy is in my age generation. When I saw her sit there on that screen and say that there was no other, we doing this from scratch. There's no history or books that leads the way. I'm like, have you lost? I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and I knew that was wrong.
Yeah,
The largest,
completely left field.
the largest collection of stories for anything.
Yep.
And being you went there, being you said they what they've done to Star Wars. Now, now I'm really pissed off because
No.
well, yeah, because Disney just can't stop there. They're coming for something else. My beloved Bleach. Now that
Did you hear? Wait. Pause. Yeah, let's pause.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it is true that Disney just bought the rights to the Bleach franchise.
Well, I think it's just only to distribution wise, but I still don't like it over here.
Can we pour out one? Can we just pour out one for the break? Just for the homie, just like that.
I got my same eyes on
But it gets worse, because after what they did with Star Wars and Star Trek,
yes, I know.
I was enjoying the new show by Seth MacFarlane called The Orville.
Yeah.
They have that now too. It is now on Disney Plus.
Oh, they have it.
What?
Yeah. Okay, before we continue, we are joined by our good friend SKC, so I got to do this. All right.
Well, all right.
It sounds so weird to hear myself laugh. But
all right.
But overall, man, I'm a nobody. It's not that big of a deal. I love these conversations, man. You guys just keep flowing. I'm working right now, but writer talk, I could do that all day long. So
yeah,
because it's love. Because
it is.
Because I explained this. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my cousin William earlier today, and I'm working on a magazine and a couple of books, and he was saying something to me about doing this and this kind of hustle, yada yada yada. He's like, don't stress yourself out, and I'm like, stress? What are you, crazy? This is the literal meaning when they tell you do what you love, and everything else will come afterwards. It doesn't make a difference if you bone tired or you crawling on the floor. You love it so much, you got to get up and get to it. You just gotta. You just gotta. You know what I mean? So this, like I said, whether you're a writer or a reader or a watcher or just a lover of it as a whole, this is what we do. This is why we get upset. Do we care if Superman's gay? No, we don't care if Superman's gay. We don't give a rat's ass because we never paid attention to people's sexual orientation in comics or movies anyway. As a matter of fact, for most of us, if we're in an action flick, we don't want to see a love scene anyway. We want the action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we never cared about that anyway. We knew it was part of the process of the movie because you got to bring the girls in to see something. But for the most part, I didn't care who Spock made out with. I want to see phasers firing. I want to see a space battle. All that other stuff was just extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Lawrence, have you ever participated in NaNoWriMo at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I thought you probably would have. All right.
Not unless I know it is something else and I don't realize what you're saying.
It's a national. I don't know if SKC knows about this or anyone else. It's National Novel Writers Month. That's why it's called NaNoWriMo.
Oh, that no. Yeah, I know. I never knew about the acronym, but no, I've never done that. No.
Oh, okay. Because I think one of the best experiences that I've had in trying to create a story was actually trying to do it within the entire month time period, and I actually cranked it out. And I think what I came out with, although it's rather rough, and this was some time ago, I think it came out much better than anything else that I've ever written. I think. At least
I generally stick with the author's manuscript.
Okay.
And I can't remember the name of the other one, but it's a workshop. I usually just deal with those two. But there's one that puts out a weekly magazine.
Okay.
That gives me a list of all the available openings for any and every writing job in the country and some outside.
Okay. I got you.
So yeah, I'm in with that. As a matter of fact, I need to do is I need to share that with you guys actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just you just go to the website, sign up, man, and I'm talking about paying gigs.
Okay.
So, you know.
Oh yeah, share that with me, Lawrence. I love that type of stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm logging into my email now so I can grab it and pull it up. but yeah, that's
got
pretty
that in the back chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now there is, and I'm not trying to go into the weeds, but there's a I'll say a side issue that comes with all of this entertainment talk that you guys are into. So far as of course, the quality is dropping with exceptions. You have your certain writers and shows that are out there that are of really high quality, but overall, huge drop. Okay, so I'm gonna just drop some breadcrumbs out there. If you have a generation or two that feed upon that, then what happens to their senses when it comes to entertainment?
I'm sorry. I'm not sure.
I was alluding to that. I was alluding to that earlier, SKC.
Yeah. It's going to keep going down the path. It's going down now. Just get worse.
Yeah.
Right. And unfortunately, and I would just throw it out there, but unfortunately, I've been noticing the the result of that on many streams and podcasts.
Yeah.
When people are almost afraid to jump out and be creative, be different, take chances, take risk. Instead, it seems to be a bit more safe to just do what everyone else is doing.
Hey, SKC, you're describing WWE entertainment that I've been watching for the past 10 years. That's all I've been going through my eyes painfully. And I wanted to bring up the writing portion when it comes to I'm a pro wrestling geek, pro wrestling nerd. I'm one of the most, me, General Leesmo, a few others. And I saw the decline of it in wrestling going on from, I want to say around 2003, 2004. I saw it because we had storylines where they had those characters that were alternative, like a Goldust or the Headbangers. They all had stories, but they now put so much formulaic characters in there that they have no differences amongst them. The storylines are all the same.
Yeah.
I remember watching. One of the greatest storylines I ever saw was Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 5.
Yo, that was awesome.
Yeah, built for a year because the jealousy was there. It's kind of like I want to say Othello, where there was two guys, they fought over the woman, and in the end, none of them chose her. Really, nobody chose her, and it kind of dragged on to the point of the next year. Macho Man Randy Savage chose his manager, and it culminated to the point where he's going to retire. He got back with the woman he originally was fighting over with, and just saw the people in the crowd with the emotional response, crying and stuff like that. I don't think I'll ever see that again. Coming up as a child, I was about maybe 7-8 years old when that came out, but just the rise of that, because I'm more into the storylines, the characters, their shades of gray, black and white, who's heel, who's face, to that nature. So
I put everything in the back chat. There's 3 of them, and
I got you.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a member of the Screenwriters Guild, so you might want to you might want to think about doing that too. Because I had created a talk show in 2010, and in order to be viable, I had to submit it and pay my dues. So you might want to consider that.
You're in some great company, man. Jesse Ventura.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, the show never got produced, but I tried. I was trying to do it through PBS. So
before we continue, we got 2 new members that joined. Start off with Free Zone. But excuse me, you know what? You deserve this here.
All right, y'all. It's been real, man. I'm out, man. Thanks for having me up, man. Thanks.
Man, I love that bear, man. I love that bear, man. I love that.
That's what I'm saying. Because I was thinking about it. I got to be the first one to get it. I gotta be.
Well, anyway, we have been joined by another good friend of mine, Free Zone Lou, with his channel and all. Free Zone, how's it going, good sir?
It's going well. How y'all doing, fellas?
Doing all right,
bro. Not bad.
Great to see you, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's
now,
good, man.
you, Altruism, and Lawrence Guy, I have you guys' intro for the Black Ronins. That won't be till Saturday, but definitely hang tight because you guys got your own intros that I will definitely introduce. So, yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we have another good friend of mine, my co-host for the War Room, and that's none other than Mr. Logic's Finest.
I'm so disappointed, Ichigo. So very disappointed. Sadly, your sword exhibits only fear. When you counter, it's because you fear being killed. When you attack, you fear killing. And when you try to protect someone, you fear you could let them die. The only thing that your sword speaks of is senseless fright. And that's not good. What you do not need in battle is fear. Nothing will come of it. You counter, you don't let them cut you. If you protect someone, you don't let them die. When you attack, you kill.
Good sir, Mr. Logic Finest. How's it going?
Gentlemen, how is everyone?
Shalom.
Great.
Shalom.
Great.
What's going on?
Salutation, man. Salutation,
Peace,
man.
brother. Peace.
Much
Yeah,
respect,
sure.
gentlemen. I have to say, Brother Sigma, Rurouni Kenshin is my absolute favorite anime of all time. It is tied with me with Generation 1 Transformers. That's my number 1 favorite animes of all time. Generation 1 Transformers and Rurouni Kenshin. So since I'm late, I'm just going to continue to sit here in the background until I can contribute to the conversation.
Not a problem, good sir. So, Lawrence, you are back up.
Nah, you saw how the whole room got quiet. Shogun was speaking. No, the Shogun was speaking. It got quiet. You playing music?
Man, this background music groovy, man.
It is, man.
I definitely like that. Definitely like that.
Top glass of wine, red wine.
Yeah.
Top.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I heard that music, I poured me a cup of whiskey, and I was like, "Yeah, this is one of those nights."
Yeah, I got my cognac here, so
I ain't yo, brandy and a cigar, man. I ain't mad.
Sadly, I don't drink, but I got my peach tea right here. So,
hey,
get in where you fit in. I'd like to just throw something out there for some thought. So.
Hold on 1 second, Logic. Sigma, can you bring it down just a little bit? Because I can't hear him.
Yeah, not bad.
No, you're fine.
That's
okay.
more than likely.
Yeah, there you go. Try it again.
More than likely me. I apologize. So, thinking about the current state of male entertainment, when you look at a lot of the writers, right? Older writers, they were influenced by the events of the world around them. Jules Verne and H.G. Wells were influenced by the Industrial Revolution. H.R. Geiger was influenced by World War I. Asimov. These guys were influenced by World War II, Korea, Vietnam.
Yeah,
most current writers, they're influenced by TikTok videos and movies and other films. So if that is the level of the influence that they have, that sheds a light on.
Did we lose him?
Did we lose?
Yeah, he popped in and out, but no, he'll be back because he did mention that he's in a bad area.
Okay. But picking up on where he left off on, between everything he listed, and even if before H.G. Wells and you go to the sort of steam engine early days before the pre-industrial revolution, you had Jules Verne. World War I wasn't just Geiger. We got Tolkien out of that as well.
Yep.
So and that, which goes back to what I was saying earlier.
C.S. Lewis as well.
See, that's correct. C.S. Lewis as well. Yeah. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about the current writers. They haven't had any adversity. They haven't lived through anything to be able to have a sort of mind that thinks creatively, because that's what happens when the human body and the human mind is in jeopardy. It starts to create things in its head to deal with the current situation that's difficult at the immediate moment. But like he said, if all they do is TikTok videos and YouTube, well, you get what we got.
Yeah. And
let me ask you a quick question real quick. What do you think about importing of writers from importing of writers from other places? Like let's just say they come from a place of hardship and they learn how to write. They've been fans of comics for a long time and they never had the opportunity. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, the problem is it won't work. Because we see it. First of all, we see it now. We have a lot of manga writers, and bringing them over here would be great. But we already see how the same idiots who are running our stuff is trying to tell them how to run their stuff, to the point that the people in Japan told them to shut the fuck up and mind your business. They started, well, you can't draw women like that. You can't write this kind of story. What about this? And which is weird because manga is one of the few formats that literally has every genre available. I don't care if it's action. I don't care if it's swordsmanship. I don't care if it's boy and girl love stories, sci-fi. Boy and boy love stories, sci-fi, lesbian stuff. They got demons. They got everything. So why you would mess with them, I don't know.
Can I put in something with that?
Yeah.
What I've seen, unfortunately, to my dismay, there was a time earlier this year. I went through a personal art challenge, and I was just trying to draw and sketch stuff. And while I was doing that, I was watching this one anime and it's called Blue Period. Now, Blue Period is about a young man's awakening to the world of visual art, like drawing, painting, sketching, and things like this. And the main story is about that. But on top of that, and I gotta say, unfortunately, on top of running in the background, there had some L. Gibbons stuff in the background with one of his friends, and they was weaving it in and out of that, and they wove it into that, and it's like the anime had so much promise, it really did, but they started sprinkling. So I'm thinking that even slowly, like it's kind of like waves of the ocean. They're starting to even wear down manga more and more now.
Yes,
and, they are.
And you know, to that point, that's why I said earlier, you know, off what Lawrence was talking about, you know, what happened to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Whenever they came out about Disney coming for Bleach, even though it hasn't been official yet, but it just lets you know how much money they're willing to throw at it.
Well, it's not just about how much money they willing to throw at it. It's about how much money they lost. That's really what it comes down to. Because with their own foolishness and how they wanted to play the game, they have nothing anymore. Their current stuff with MCU, people are turning away from. The stuff with Star Wars, they turned they paid billions of dollars.
You know what, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Doggone it, I got to disagree, because here's one thing I know about Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though it's trash, they're gonna go see that crap anyway.
So you're talking about hate watching?
I don't know about hate watching, but they're gonna go. They're gonna go see it because of the brand.
And they have hope that it might change.
Yes.
Okay, I get that.
So it might be more like hope watching. They're not. All of these movies and everything. Very few people are gonna be like, yeah, I can't waste my money on it.
Yeah. Because like I said, Star Wars is you, Star Trek is me, and I'm telling you, we done. Look. Let me tell you how done we are with Star Trek. Our own captain, William Shatner, did in an interview that it sucks, and Gene Roddenberry would turn over in his grave.
And proceeded to say that Star Wars is trash now, and that the only thing good about it is he liked Mark Hamill, but pretty much F everybody else.
Yeah. And another issue that I see with all of that is that you have these large corporations and they're buying up stuff and blah blah blah. But the other problem that I see is that there's a generation of creators that are pretty much afraid to go out and just create their own stuff. Look at what Young Ripper did.
Yeah,
like that needs to be done
emulated
10 times over.
You know what, SKC? I would say it's even. I would say it's a little bit more. Not so much they're afraid to go out and create their own stuff. I doubt they even have the ability to. Most.
You're saying they're creatively bankrupt at this point?
Yes, I would say a lot are, not all, but there's so much that are creatively bankrupt, and but those that do have some type of creative talent or ability, they are scared, to his point, to go out and take that chance like Ripper did.
Right. Now the thing about Young Ripper, and this is where it gets interesting. Young Ripper and what he did, at least in the comic industry, that used to be the exception. It's becoming the rule now, because there are independent creators who are putting stuff up on Indiegogo, making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 fundraising to do their own comic. Now, how that works with TV and movies, I don't know, because it's kind of hard. You got your own stuff, but you pretty much got every studio and distribution company buying into the propaganda and agenda. You don't have a chance to do anything.
And you know what? Not only, oh my bad, I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, not only that, whenever you talk about the TV and movie aspect, I'll go to the TV aspect.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it and everything now, seasons are freaking 8 episodes. There is no way you have enough you can create enough content in 8 episodes to make a great or good story. No way.
No, you can make a great.
I'm not a
miniseries.
writer, and I get that.
Yeah, you can make a great miniseries, but you can't do a really solid story.
That goes to the whole conversation about TikTok and Vines and all of these short second bursts of media that you get, where basically, you know, it's been reduced down to short attention span.
Correct.
So you have to get the point out, whatever the point is. Some of these don't even have point.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of Free Zone. I think in order to combat that, you need someone or a group of people who are gonna create really immense and expansive stories that only a niche group is gonna get into, because eventually that niche group is going to blow it up, and then that's when those people that have those super short attention spans are going to try to jump into it, but they're not going to know what they're talking about, and then they're going to have to start watching long form stuff.
Well, you know what?
No, go ahead. You first, Ivan.
I was gonna say the thing about, you know, you talking about the niche group thing. The problem is now these companies, they don't care as much about that niche group of fans who actually funded these projects. I mean, when you look at Star Wars, Star Trek, this was a niche group. Now, granted, Star Wars grew, it grew, but in the end they didn't end up caring about the niche group of fans that made them what they were, because they spent the money for this. The greed is evident there, to where, you know, they're not going to care about that niche group.
Right. That's why you box those people out. You do you use the same formula that Ripper used.
But you can't. You can't. And the reason for that is because Young Ripper is so small that he could get away with that. But when you start going into like DC and Marvel, what you have a problem with, and here's the biggest problem, especially because Ripper's doing comic books. Here's the problem. Take Marvel and DC, Young Ripper is catering to a very specific group, a very niche group. All right. Now, in comparison to Star Trek, Marvel, in comparison to Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, all that good stuff, there is no entertainment market more niche than comics as a whole. Okay, I mean, it is the smallest percentage in comparison to everything else. It is the smallest niche market. Now, here's the problem. What happens when Marvel and DC decides that niche market that has been supporting them for the last 80 to 85 years no longer matters, and wants to focus on the 3% who don't even buy their product to cater to them?
Right.
That's why when you look up the stats, you see Superman selling what, 30,000 copies. Okay, there's exactly between America, the US, and England alone, there's about 2.8 to 2.9 comic book readers, but yet you're only selling 30,000 copies. Why? Because you're catering to that small percentage that never really cared, don't even buy your product, won't waste their money on it because they feel you should give it to them for free, and are trying to follow an agenda. And that's the problem. That's the problem we have here. Because what you did is that not only did you do that, but you took away your next generation. Because you got to understand the way it works. It's like, okay, my grandfather got me into comics, right? And my father, from what I know, read comics too. That's 3 generations. Then after that, I've got 4 daughters who I trained in comics as well. That's another generation. And then you got my grandchildren who got started on comics. That's another generation. But by them doing what they did, they wiped anybody else out on my level dead there to cater to people that don't really matter. And all those succeeding generations that you would have kept buying into your product generation after generation is gone, because you said fuck us, so we left. And we took our kids with us. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the point of all of that is that to a certain degree, and I know it sounds almost hateful to a certain degree, but people just have to let this stuff fail and
Yes.
get into other new niche markets that will appreciate the fandom. Take for instance, like it may be a hard restart so far as, oh, so what, you won't be able to see these characters that are being created in these storylines and so forth on the big screen, not until maybe you're 67-year-old. Okay, fine, that if that needs to be, that needs to be. But a lot of the stuff of old was in one's imagination in the first place. That's where it grew. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the whole Indiana Jones series was birthed from classic radio, the Jack Doc
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Reggie series.
absolutely.
So
Well, just like Terminator from Outer Limits and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it needs to go back to the times of people doing audio shows on with awesome stories and so forth, so be it. But
Well, here's the
to go get back into this whole thing of being a slave to the big studios, it's like, man, heck with that. They can have it.
Well, here's the thing, though. You gotta because all of this bleeds into the socio-political dynamic right off the gate. And I'm not trying to get political. I'm just trying to set the tone. What you have is that the only time these type of people can get away with doing what they're doing is in good times. And now that we're starting to slowly move into inflation, economic instability, food, gas prices, yada, 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 political turmoil in other countries, you're going to start seeing the pendulum start to swing back towards us. You already see it with David Zaslav taking over Warner Brothers. Because, I mean, I got to tell you, that's some courage for him to cancel a Latina Batgirl. Because you knew all those SJW dudes was coming for him. He knew it. But yeah, he's taking that step because we're done. We've wasted so much opportunity on making money. This is ridiculous now, and Disney has the bigger problem.
I draw the line at bisexual Batman, though.
I'm not mad at you.
Big pause.
I'm not mad at you.
That is a thing, right? It came on my phone, but that is really happening, right? I can't like it.
It's happening. As a matter of fact, they tested it like 2-3 months ago in the story, and now they're going to go straight forward with it now. And like I said, and here's the thing: Batman is the only thing selling at DC. That's why there's so many versions of it. Between Batman, Nightwing, and all the other Bat family characters, there's like 8, 9, 10 books, even if not more. They're the only thing that's selling, and now you're about to do this. And you're gonna, and mind you, they weren't even see.
Don't care.
When I grew up with comics, I grew up in the era of Jim Shooter running Marvel Comics.
Yep.
If a comic didn't make 50,000 copies as a sale, Jim Shooter canceled it halfway through the story. And he didn't care if you finished the story. He didn't care if you finished the story or not. It wasn't making money. He might take bits and pieces of the story and print it in some kind of big reprint so you can get the rest of it. But no, he would cancel it. He would if 50,000 copies is all you sold, you got chucked. you got chucked.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, to the point that SKC was making, how many people are actually willing to make that sacrifice to say, you know what, forget it, I'm not gonna support it?
But they can't because
there's not that many people. There's not enough people that are willing to make that sacrifice
because they're worried about cancel culture and all that other stuff.
Well, I wasn't even just talking about them. I was talking on the end of
the fan base, right?
Yes, the people.
Well, that's where I'm at. Eisen is this, like there are certain things that of old, like just like Lawrence. I'm a huge Star Trek guy. I had to cut it loose, dude. It's like the whole Picard thing. I'm like, bruh, nah, I'm not going to watch that captain go down like that. It's just not gonna happen. The even when it comes to the whole Batman thing, dude, I'll just the same way when there was a time in life when I was younger then. Right after the Michael Keaton Batman, then they started making this series of other Batmans with, Dr. Freeze and all this Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't watch none of that stuff, man. I was like, nah, I've read comics and stuff. I'm not putting that in my brain as to that's Batman. Yeah. So it's like you're gonna have to have some creatives that are gonna come through and just say, you know what, I'm gonna stop consuming this stuff because it's garbage, and I'm gonna put some other stuff that's out there to compete. Because once you start putting other stuff out there that is competing, then you force other people to either step their game up or let large characters that they that are iconic die off.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, there's going to come a moment in time, it's going to flip back. That's just the nature of things. I mean, it's going to swing back.
Just don't know if we'll ever see
it. I think I think we will. I think we will. I see maybe in the next 5 years. I could see it, because you got to understand, all this really, 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 really hit the fan around 2015, between Marvel swapping out all their characters for race swapping, gender swapping. The female Ghostbuster movie. I mean, you could pinpoint it.
That was trash. That was so trash.
I'm saying, but you can pinpoint it. It was 2015. It was, you can pinpoint it. You know what I'm saying? And what we're looking at now is, like I said, we're coming up. We're about 2.5, 3 years out from 10 years, a decade. That's about right. That's about right.
I'm gonna tell you, Lawrence. My bad.
Especially with David Zaslav and what he's doing with DC. Because if what he does works, I guarantee you everybody's going to copy it. Because the person he hired on as a consultant is the same dude who consulted Marvel to get Disney to get Marvel MCU the way it is.
Lawrence, you got so much more hope than I got, because I'm going to tell you, I think I'm serious.
I agree with Eisen. I'm ready to say, stick a fork in them. They're done.
I think they're gonna find a way to get him out of there.
But the reason that might be with me with more hope is, like I said, I've seen this 2 or 3 times already. I saw it in the 70s with the DC implosion. I mean, as soon as they did more books and people saw the type of books they were doing, it was like I don't even think it lasted a good year and a half, and they boom. Lost all those books, cut down. I've seen it in Marvel. That's why they brought Jim Shooter in, because Marv Wolfman wasn't doing the job as editor. That's another big thing too. A lot of these writers don't have editors. You need a guiding hand of a senior member to tell you your shit stinks. You need somebody to tell you this needs to be corrected. You need to move the story in this direction. This doesn't line up with the history that we know of the character. You're redefining, and there's no editors.
That part is they're not existing no more either.
The reason why I say you've got more hope, whenever you talk about those times, you have to also look at the state of the entire country at that point. When you look at it now, the line between what is rainbow and what is not is blurry as shit.
Well, not necessarily, because like in the 70s, we had these issues too. As a matter of fact, prime example was Manhattan's the Stonewall incident, where a whole bunch of gays got killed by police inside a bar called Stonewall. So I mean, it's not like this is new.
I'm not saying it's new, so much as the fact that, I mean, man, look, during that time in the South, it wasn't flying like that, not on a widespread.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Now,
you're right.
Man, let some police do that to some old Skittles up in anywhere and see what happens. They're gonna have them police hanging from the highest limb.
I'm with Lawrence on the hope. I'm with Lawrence on the hope on one reason. all of these networks still keep the retro episodes still up. Disney Plus still has majority of the retro movies still up. They cannot sell anything without the retro. So I think what's going to happen. Yeah. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. It was my fault. I talked over you. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to say, like, with the retro, if you go through any of the Paramount networks, the Disney Pluses, the all the way down to Peacock or Crunchyroll, they still have retro episodes still on. You still have a retro comic book genre that's still, I think it's still strong. You know, retro books are
stronger now.
Actually, we have two particular things that prove that. One is animation, the other one is comics. In animation, Cartoon Network might suck. It might not be bringing in the numbers, but Boomerang still is.
That's definitely,
You feel what I'm saying? Because it's showing the classics. And the same thing with comics. Before they fired Dan DiDio at DC in 2017 at a Comic-Con, he was literally in front of an entire group of people complaining that the old stuff, when he did reprints, sold better than the new stuff he was doing now. And I was like, dude, that should give you a signal.
You know why I don't have hope and truism? It goes to the side conversation we were having via email. When people get on to where they get upscale Mid-Journey, and then couple that with you get some awesome writers that are going, they're just focusing solely on their craft, and then they have people that are going in and doing the Mid-Journey thing to handle the artistry. It's over.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
But what do you think about it, SKC? But the actual art of actually just painting in and of itself becomes an artist's skill. So it no longer becomes artistic.
I love it.
Becomes an artisan skill in and of itself. I was just thinking about that.
When you sent that to me about 3 weeks before that, I was looking at Mid-Journey because remember when I was sitting, I was telling, and we were going back and forth about all of the game stuff.
Yeah.
So far as your world building and all that stuff, and I was saying, nah, it ain't gonna take that long. That's why I was saying that, because a lot of the artwork and so forth, once you get an account, it's like,
you're right.
There it is.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. All you gotta do is put in the right prompts and just you keep refining it, getting the right prompt down. Yeah, you can get everything down. You can do things for like cards. You can do things for comic books, especially like those single frames of a character talking. Like one of my favorite single frames of a character talking was from the 1990s X-Men, when it was him and Lady Deathstrike having to take on this particular like energy beast or whatever. And he said, if we don't take this thing out now, everyone is going to you can see the intensity in that man's face when he was talking to, because he knew what was on the line.
Truism, when I was telling you about the creation of that that choose your own adventure again, the one that I'm working on right now, I'm using Mid-Journey for the art. So that's why I was telling you, it ain't gonna take that long.
Yeah, because I got a guy on one of my Facebook groups. He's been doing he's been using Mid-Journey to redesign public domain characters.
Yeah, man. And
they look wicked. I mean, they look wicked as hell. I mean, he's doing it's nice. It's real nice. But the sad part about this is that you've got writers and you've got artists who've been doing this stuff for 30, 40, some of them 50 years, and they just sitting in the house twiddling their thumbs because you'd rather pay cheap prices to people who don't know how to write, or you want to pay cheap prices because you get your artists from DeviantArt. I mean, come on, man.
Lord.
You know what?
You're in my wheelhouse now, man.
Hold on.
Here we go.
I'm keeping it real. If you look at a lot of those people who are artists in Marvel, especially Marvel Comics, they came from DeviantArt. They have no drawing skills. None.
That's a fact.
None.
Bro,
I mean, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl looked like there was a dyslexic, mentally handicapped 5-year-old drew that book every day.
That was a perfect drop. That was a perfect.
I'm not even trying to be funny about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and with the writing, look, you got Marv Wolfman, the guy who created the Teen Titans, just sitting there doing nothing. He wants to do Superman. Let him do Superman. You got Chris Claremont, who spent
X-Men.
18 years writing X-Men, and you'd rather pay him not to write. What the fuck is that?
That describes Paul Heyman to me.
They literally got a contract for him. They're paying him not to work for them or anybody else.
But you'll promote gay man though. Fuck out.
That's what I'm saying.
Watch this. Now watch this. And this is why I was saying y'all got too much hope. And another reason why I think SKC would agree, when he was alluding to his question earlier, I believe he was going this route about the youth. Now let's go here. I can say for probably all of us on the panel, we all, if we didn't like, there's no way we like everything about something that came before our time. Yeah. But there were aspects that we knew, whether it be music, TV, whatever. Yeah. There were aspects of it that we liked.
Yeah.
Now watch this. The younger generation don't give a damn about none of that old ass shit.
You know why, right?
My sons have a hard time trying to appreciate the old school G.I. Joe episodes.
You know why, right?
I don't know. It don't matter to me. Why?
Because with the younger generation, and like this is something that's indicative of them, and I'm talking about Gen Z, and I'm not saying all of them, but the ones who work inside of entertainment, and maybe a couple of other places, because for them, they think history only started the day they were born. That's why.
Ooh. And I'll add this on the millennial side. The millennials want to forget about the previous generation's work as well. That's me coming in on the wrestling side, because a lot of them want to forget about. They want you to remember Hulk Hogan was a racist. No, this guy was selling out Madison Square Garden for weeks on end. They want you to think about it.
But see, that's the problem.
I'll add another short with that, Lawrence, and hand it right over to you. I also believe it has a lot to do with the younger generations not reading as much, and then also not having an active imagination. They're really not that creative.
No, they're not.
Know what? You know what?
And that's the comment right there.
Yeah.
You know what?
You first. You first. No, you first, Eisen. You first.
I was gonna say, and you know what? I would also have to say, hey, that entertainment at home from the parents. That hey, look. that trash they looking at. That trash they looking at from the all of that too.
Yeah, because see, here's the thing. Like the saying goes, every generation blames the one before it. That's just human nature.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Yeah, Mike and the Mechanics, my man, the living years. Go ahead now.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead now. I think you hear me knocking, and I'm coming in.
Yeah, man.
But like I said, that's the nature of things. So what we have here is that even when you had those problems, the greatest generation gave birth to the boomers. And even though the boomers had a lot of disagreements with them, they still didn't forget the history. And the same thing with Gen X. We didn't forget the history from the boomers. And the same way with millennials. They didn't forget all the history. But what you got now is you got these 20-something-year-olds, man, who are rolling through here, man. And like I said, I'm not saying all of them, but the ones in this particular genre and what we're talking about, like you said a second ago, they don't read. They don't read. When I say Shakespeare and they're looking at me like, who's that? And I'm like, come on. I mean, even if you never, even if everybody on this panel never read Shakespeare, you know who Shakespeare is.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That's part of the problem, Lawrence, is that a lot of the times when, and I'm not saying because I know it was more pronounced for the generation before me, but a lot of times concepts will come up that we could all readily look at and say, oh, that's a retelling of this story, or they're borrowing from this and that. They have no idea. They think that it's brand new.
They do.
Like it's novel or something.
They do. Just like when they redid that West Side Story, there was a whole bunch of them like, "Oh, that's a great story." Well, first of all, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. First of all, you need to go back to the 1960s because Rita Moreno, and Natalie Wood and the rest of them did it better. But just for the record, that's Shakespeare. It's called Romeo and Juliet.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, and they're looking at me like, what? I was like, oh man, you're killing me. Just shoot me now.
Now, here's another side to it too, because I've noticed like a huge. I mean, I know it was around in like the 90s, but there's a whole thing of nihilism that has been sown from from between these generations. So it's like an offspring of an offspring of an offspring of just a whole nihilistic. What's the word?
That's from the grunge and like alternative rock period.
But it's not even that. It's not even that they don't know. When you tell them, they don't care because none of it matters to them.
Yeah. It's not going to, because look, at the end of the day, it's like a copy machine. Mm-hmm. You can make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, but eventually that copy is going to degenerate that you can't even read it.
Correct.
It's just the nature of things, and that's what we have here with generation after generation after generation, because nobody's doing what's necessary to pass this information on. I remember with my daughter Sam, it was like her junior year in high school at the time. A little short, younger teacher was mad at me because I was questioning the reading material. And it wasn't even that I was challenging it. She had brought something up about something, and I had made a response about okay, I'm familiar with that because it reminds me of Albert Camus's The Stranger. And she looked at me because she was annoyed that I knew that. I'm like, okay, what is wrong with being well read? What am I missing? She's like, well, Albert Camus says The Stranger kind of heavy. Not really. It's just a play on the Oedipus complex from Oedipus Rex. I mean, that's all it is. And she's looking at me. That's a French author. Okay, it's in English. What about it? I mean,
you ain't supposed to know that,
nigga. You know French.
It's just a weird thing, because it's one thing to get that from kids. It's another thing to get it from the educators. That makes no sense to me. And now we understand why. They have no skill set. Now we understand why they're not well read, because that's the whole thing about reading. Reading expands your brain. You start to imagine the images and everything else associated with it, and then once you finish reading it, you start playing around in your head about what you would have did different, or how you would have played this character, and that's what builds from it. But we're not getting that. We're not getting that. And yes, Saint Nick, you're right. Lion King was pretty much Hamlet, no question to it.
Yeah, you're right.
Is another thing with that, Lawrence, is the creative effort. I don't think that they want to buy into doing the heavy lifting, as it were. And then also a lot of the this is my opinion, I think a lot of the people that are involved in the I would say retrofits of literal histories and so forth, they want to do that because it's easier. It's easier not to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, take your personal feelings out of things in the past, and then think of it from a different perspective, from your modern views.
But there's no way to be a creator of any kind unless you step out your comfort zone. It's
but wait a minute. Can I offer this? I think what's happening now is what's the creative and narrative effort that is now going forward, at least as far as what I'm seeing, is being more geared towards indie games, i.e. Undertale, i.e. Hades, i.e. all these other books. I think now all of these creative energies that could have gone into a book are now being told in the medium of gameplay.
But here's the thing: you're still not safe. You're still not safe because, again, I don't know if you guys know Gary at Nerdrotic, but Anos. Remember? So do you remember the thing with Anos in the video game that Star Trek Discovery stole?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We funded his. Yeah, we funded his attorney to fight that. And he still lost.
But what I'm saying is,
mind you, we did it twice. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, what we have going on is that it doesn't make a difference what genre you're in. They're going to come in and do that.
No.
Whether it be theft or.
So the reason what I'm saying is I brought it up not to say that it's not going to be stolen. What the reason why I'm bringing it up is it seems that now instead of, you know how back in the day people used to write books as a form of, that books were a form of entertainment, and then before books, then radio, then TV, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that all that creative effort that could have gone into writing books is now being used to create narratives in video games. Now, I think that this particular generation, maybe going forward, let me just flesh this out. They may be putting their narrative energies in the form of a game now. They're leaning more towards it. They value that more than reading, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And that's another problem, because like Saint Nick said himself, what's the point in telling a kid to read when you can just give them an iPad and a DVD and sit them in front of a screen?
Well, not only that.
I mean, not to be funny, but when it's us, we got taught everything. Look, we went outside, we rode a bike without a helmet. we were told to read. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Yes,
let's go. Yes, I gotta welcome the guy, because I was like, there's one person who would enjoy this discussion, it would be Zero. So Zero, how's it going, good man?
No. See, this is wrong. This is wrong. You can't have Zero. You can't have Zero over here because all of those helmet dudes that be following him are gonna
hold on. They'll be shot on sight. But Zero's always welcome.
But at the end of the day, man, bringing up this intellectual son of a bitch right here, I can't play. I got no time for it. You understand what I'm saying? And he's a Marvel zombie versus my DC Bullet. No, man, no.
I knew it was coming.
He got to go. I can't.
What's good, Zero?
Just let him sit there and listen. Mute the mic.
I got zero hate, brother. I'll let you know. I got zero hate. Zero hate, brother. Zero hate.
No, I'm not intellectual. I didn't chilled off on DC. That was
don't placate me. Don't.
I did. I don't even. Yeah. I can't hate on DC at all. Like they make better movies.
You still ain't my friend. And don't be so
I'll have to debate you on the better movies part, bro. I'll have to debate you on that. Better movies in terms of that.
No, he's being sarcastic.
Animated,
doing.
No, if he's talking about animated movies, he's not. There's another.
No, he's right. If it's animated, he's absolutely right. No question on that. But if he's talking live action,
it's not even close. Yeah.
He's just messing with me.
I'll give it to you in the animated.
Y'all ain't been paying attention to Marvel, okay?
I got Christopher Nolan though. Christopher Nolan.
I know what he's saying. Marvel is going down the trash. DC is prime for him taking it.
Yeah. Marvel easily.
That phase 4 is absolute trash.
Absolute trash.
Trash.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, the only good movies they put out was the Spider-Man flicks. They gave an alley-oop to Sony, and I mean, judging from what Sony did to Venom, I mean, I don't see the future Spider-Man movies.
Check out Morbius. That was actually it wasn't all that woke. It wasn't all that woke. You didn't like Morbius?
It wasn't woke, but it wasn't like
mediocre at best.
Yeah, it wasn't like that.
I liked it. I actually liked
it. Give me, you got Morb, man? You was on Morbin time?
Give me 1 second. I will hunt you down and shoot you myself. You say that again.
Oh, go!
It was mediocre at best, man. It was not that nothing.
So
was that
I
great
understand that Morbius was supposed to be Blade-like.
Yeah.
But they took out all of the stuff that made Blade cool, like the gore. Now, Blade didn't even have unnecessary gore either. It was fun.
Yeah,
but
it was.
if they stripped that out the movie, I mean, it kind of, because Morbius is a dark character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also a conflicted character. It could have been better than Blade because Morbius is fighting with bloodlust.
Yeah.
Which is,
But you weren't going to get that anyway because we're talking about Jared Leto.
Right.
Look. Even if the script was there, Jared Leto does not have the gravitas to pull off those kind of characters. We saw it already with the Joker and Suicide Squad. I mean, seriously.
Okay.
Now, the upcoming Joker movie. Now that you said something about it,
Trash.
please don't swap this out, man.
It's done.
Because as I understand it, we supposed to get Gaga.
It's Harley Quinn. That's what's going on.
Harley Quinn.
What?
It's done. It's
hold
over.
on. Okay. Well, hold on.
It's over.
Hold on.
What did I tell you, Isaac? What did I tell
Wait a
you?
minute.
They don't want to believe it. They want to hold on.
They got that hope.
My question is this though.
Hold on to the feeling. Yeah, man.
Have you seen her performance in Gucci?
Nope.
I saw an American Horror Story though. It was bad.
About Gucci?
Yeah, they got her doing Gucci.
Yeah. It was she was playing the wife of the heir of it or something like that. Now here's what's interesting. She's tricky because she was good in that, but she sucked in everything else.
She was
So I
okay in
don't-
American Horror Story.
Well, she was decent.
pretty good.
She was
Pretty good
decent. She was decent. Yeah, she was decent. But that one she did with Bradley Cooper, that sucked.
Yeah.
Because that was nothing but that was nothing but a remake of A Star Is Born, to be quite frank. So
Yeah, but that movie was made for feel goodery. That wasn't a real movie.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say with her with that. I really don't.
I know what to say. Like SKC and I said, y'all got too much hope. It's done.
You want to?
Hey, look, y'all just gotta come on. Y'all just gotta come on over to this side. Hey, look. When I
here's the
found out
thing.
that Disney was getting the right distribution rights, it's over with.
I just need to leave Joker alone.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
They can't leave it alone, though, Zero. They can't because he's
just to show you.
He's too much man for that. He can't. They got to tone that down, so they can't have that.
Yeah,
bro.
but just to show you just how I don't have as much hope as you think, because to this day I still haven't watched Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I still haven't watched it.
It's good.
It was. I liked it.
It was.
That one was actually good. Yeah.
It should have been. It should be a standalone movie.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, not with this. Not what they making now. They
Oh, you talking? Without a sequel. Yeah.
Yes. It's not a standalone anymore.
That movie should have been left alone. They should have just rebooted it.
Yep. I don't know, man. They should have rebooted it.
I don't know what they're gonna do with the sequel. It just, as soon as they introduce, somebody like that, and then be like, she's gonna be Harley Quinn, which is, one of the major characters in the universe. And then it's like it just feels like they're gonna swap her out. It's just like how they pulled the fast one on Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch Ant-Man. I knew it was just gonna be
Sequel
bullshit.
should have called Wasp featuring Ant-Man.
The Wasp.
Yeah.
Woman, whatever.
Yeah.
How does my boy say? Trash. Trash.
Straight Basura is garbage. Fucking garbage.
But people gotta keep falling for it. It's like, hey, do what you do, man. But the problem, and I say this with all due respect, Lawrence. The problem is that people just don't know when to get off the roller coaster, man. When they said Star Trek, what with the chick in it, what's her name, Mikey Spock or whatever, I was like, okay, it's time to get off.
Wait, what now? Which one?
Star Trek Discovery, you mean? That one?
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Once I saw Daggle, I was done. I was like, yeah, I kind of moved away from that.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
They're taking away the sci-fi. They're taking away the comedy. They're taking away the comics.
Anime. Japanese anime. They're coming for that.
Everything.
Yeah, they're coming for it. They're coming for it hard.
That's why I was saying truism. It don't matter. They coming for games too. It's over with.
I know that it's over with, but I'm saying from what I'm seeing, from what I'm noticing now, most of the creative storytelling effort is leaning more towards that and more towards the interactive. Well, yeah.
I'm watching old stuff.
It's gonna be older.
I'm in retro mode. Yeah, I've been watching action movies lately, and I've been watching. I don't know if y'all have seen y'all seen the Raid movies?
Yeah.
Raid 1 and 2. Raid. Yeah, bro.
The martial arts flicks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, man. I turned the TV on the other day, and Taken was on, and I've been going into watching videos on how they actually make movies with the different cut scenes, and they'll do 20 cut scenes for one fight stuff, and I'm sitting there watching Taken, and I'm like, man, let me throw on Raid, man. This is too much, man. I can't do it no more. Epilepsy. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, you got. When they started making director's cards, that's when it was over.
You see a fist, then a face, then a jacket, then a fist, then a face. You're like, who's hitting who? And then you see a fist, and a fist, and a fist, and a face, and a jacket, and a head. And then the fight.
And then all of a sudden, somebody's on the ground. You're like, how'd he get there? Fuck. Oh, man.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Action movies, fight scenes, a lost art, man. It's a lost art.
Right now, with male entertainment, it's in the eye of the storm. People think that shit coming back.
Which one though? The Bermuda Triangle Storm or something else?
Queer Eye for the straight guy. That's what you trying to say, Kamasi?
There's such a market for it that I saw a report about Top Gun surpassed Infinity War.
Yes, it did.
Holy crap!
That new Top Gun was hard, man.
But I think a lot of that has to do with just a thirst for the classic action style of that type of person.
That's why I was saying. But that's why I was saying earlier that the pendulum is swinging. It's just going to be slow. Like I said, it's been 10 years in it. It's going to be about half that, if not the same. To get out.
You know what they need, Lawrence? The new, I would say the newer generations or that, they need that era of just bad writing, but just hard. Action movies like the old Rambo, Death Wish movies.
Here's what they actually need. Wait a minute. Here's what they actually need. Because someone actually brought this up.
Hold on. Just 1 second, real quick. That's not gonna work. And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
In order for them to have a long-term period of bad writing, they need to understand what bad writing is. They don't. This is why they write the way they do. See, we grew up with a combination. Look, for every All in the Family, there was a Jeffersons. For every Sanford and Son, you know what I'm saying, there was something else. We had balances. If we saw Easy Rider, that was a great movie. I'm pretty sure we saw at least 5 B movies that sucked, that should have never came out, like Candyman or
Killer Clowns from Space,
Nightmare on Elm Street, that kind of stuff. But that's what I'm saying. We had a juxtaposition to understand the difference between the two. They don't have that. All they've known is bad writing. They couldn't distinguish a good writing if it slapped them in the face because they just don't know.
Somebody brought this up earlier in regards with all the great writers that came out. I'm saying the great writers that came out, they all came out because of a great conflict of one kind or another. So I think what's really necessary to really get writing back to what it used to be, some niggas gonna have to get shot. It's gonna have to be some niggas with some bullet
We need a
wounds.
war.
And so, yeah, man.
We need a war.
But they already have.
We need PTSD. They need to write that trauma out so they can actually be something that they can actually bond to, so they can actually make good stories.
We gotta tone down on the violence and everything.
No. I'm not saying that. But I'm just going by the actual paradigm that was drawn up. We have Lewis, we have Tolkien, we have Geiger. All of these men came out of trauma that had either A, having been in war or being around it. So this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we need to start having violence on people. I'm saying that. I'm saying these are people who, even though they went through these type of experiences, their creative processes, I guess is the best way of saying it, was ignited by this.
That's debatable, because you have people who lived in eras between wars. I mean, one of my favorites is Jack London. I mean, so
you're right.
That's debatable.
But I'm saying,
right, but to
I'm
SKC
saying, I think it would.
To SKC and Lawrence's point, they've already tried the bad writing, good action trope. Sylvester Stallone tried it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
And again, just to the foundation of it, not only can they not recognize good writing and they're stuck in a bad writing circle, you have to understand they doubled down. And like I said, as a matter of fact, you know what? I'll go back to something I said in the very beginning of the show.
Yeah.
You're never going to get them to course correct, because they've already made it abundantly clear that they know their shit is crap. That's why instead of focusing on the story, they try to blame everybody else for not liking it by being sexist, homophobies, this and that. That's why, because no writer does that. No,
the writing is great. The fans are crap.
Hey, watch this.
Just like it.
Hey, watch this.
Just buy more.
Hey, watch this. And to top it all off, the people that are left there to absorb it all, they want to eat that crap. They want to eat it. They don't
you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Yeah. They want the McChicken, man. They want the McChicken.
They want
the hot spicy one.
They want
the big chicken.
Wait. You want me in that room.
Wait.
You
Did
need
somebody
me in
say
that
they
room.
want the big chicken?
They want the big chicken.
Wait a minute.
I want the steroid chicken. The chicken that never had and doesn't know how to run at all. Its legs are so long.
Hey, they want the chicken.
I mean, but it's crazy, because like I said, it's gonna be just like that scene from the movie. You want me in that room. You need me in that room. We use words like storytelling, hero's journey, story structure. You use them as a punchline. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be just like that. It's gonna be just like that. It's gonna be just like that.
But I'm saying, I still think that yes, it's true that you had people who didn't really go through those kind of conflicts that did that. But I think that just having that into the actual collective consciousness of actually either going through or getting past or over through a war actually will help to reignite some of the good writing that we've missed, because no one has actually gone through anything. Now, that's just me, but I think that might help.
Yeah, no, you still got too much hope, bro.
They
want to bow down. They want to heal. They want to heal to the narrative at hand, which is take what we give you.
You give me an idea.
You gonna love it. You don't know what you want. We gonna give it to you.
And let's go back. Let's go back. Who's gonna create those stories? You, Eisen, you, SKC. I have a greater responsibility than you could possibly fathom. You know
Hey, look. Basically, to sum it up, Cool Kamasi would understand this. Look, they giving everybody the Vince McMahon treatment. You don't know what the hell you want, so I'm gonna tell you what you want.
I'm gonna tell you what you want.
Yes.
Put that ass. 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 Put that ass.
Hey, go.
You know what he's like? You know what you did? You get big chicken.
You gonna eat that McChicken? Eat the cake, anime. Eat the cake.
I know. You know, and going,
chicken is made of.
And going right. What?
What is it made of? McChicken is made of.
Oh, it's like what is it like what is it like pureed white chicken meat and like some kind of filler and some crap, right?
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking.
Hey, nobody knows, man. Nobody knows.
I hear it's part coronavirus.
I'm telling you.
Know the hell you.
Throw a little monkey in there. Throw a little monkey in there too.
Yeah,
I heard.
Sprinkle the monkey on top.
Assorted meat products. That's what it says.
I heard that it was the broken dreams of Pookie, Ray Ray, and Helmet Heads.
It could be.
No, hey Lawrence, no, you can't say that because that would be edible for some.
I eat this sandwich of all my broken dreams, and I keep on crying from all this crap that's written now. Oh.
Yo, altruism.
I mean,
altruism. That's it. You're cut off. Put the drink down.
Oh yeah, that's that PhD talking to him.
It could be.
I am looking forward to see what July's thing with Isom is gonna be like, man.
Me too.
I got chips on that on that gambit right now, so I want to see what it's gonna turn out to be like.
I'm waiting to get mine. I'm waiting to get my copy. I didn't get the signed copy, unfortunately. They ran out, but I still got a copy. I think it was the B cover. No, B cover. I think I got.
I'm waiting for November because DC put out some information that they're bringing back the Justice Society, and they actually brought back one of the old school writers who knows how to write, and they get so I'm waiting to see how that go.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Hey, what's the best movie that's come out this year so far?
I got none.
This year?
Oh, Multiverse of Madness, easy.
Top Gun Maverick.
What? Hell the fuck no. Are you insane?
Did you say Doctor Strange?
No, that's not Doctor Strange.
You know what? Zero.
No
Whatever coffee you drinking, nigga, you ain't strong enough, nigga. You need to wake the fuck up. Whatever coffee you drinking, that cream is kicking your ass, nigga. You coming up with something like that.
Wait, hold on.
Woman Man Haters movie.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better. Okay?
No.
So
coffee too good for me coming up with something like that.
That movie was amazing.
We obviously know that Zero is drunk that whole movie. So.
God damn.
If that movie was good, if that movie was good, you loved Moulin Rouge then.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Before anybody say anything, just hold on a second. Let's all take a deep breath because I think that bear is getting worn out because
all I'm doing
is
just highlighting all the talking points at the moment.
So I love that bear. There was a part in the movie where she went to like the monk temple and everybody started spinning their hands around and they created a giant force field. And she couldn't get past it. And then she scared a dude by saying run. And he broke the entire shield. Like the combined forces of like 30 magicians couldn't plug the hole
from that
one guy who took off. It's amazing.
No, I'm good.
Hey, Zero. You know what was even more amazing? How whenever they went to that one universe, how the great value Captain America, how she could get licks in, but Charles Xavier, Mr. Fantastic and Black Bolt got the floor mopped with him.
This chick can't find her mom, but she keeps accidentally going to the same 3 worlds.
Yeah.
And notice,
we're not even going to talk about the Illuminati part.
That's just amazing storytelling.
Yeah.
And if you notice also in those scenes how the men got taken out and they didn't even make a move.
Yeah, that was my point I was making. That was amazing.
But all the females lasted 2-3 minutes toe to toe.
Got they licks in, boy.
I'm going with Top Gun. I'm going with Top Gun, and I'm going with I'm gonna throw the Batman in there as well.
What?
That one was pretty good.
But look, you in that order.
Better than Morbius, then. You can't say it's better than Morbius.
The
crazy as hell.
Fuck that shit. I'll stand right. I will die on that hill.
Okay, but did the Batman have good troll writing? Because you have to be smart to actually pull off. You have to be smart to pull off significant troll writing. Okay, you introduce a character as the smartest man in the world, and then have him say the dumbest shit possible 2 minutes later.
Nigga, you ain't shit. You ain't
Well, maybe that goes to show you how dumb the audience is.
There you go.
I need to watch this. Like I've been stalling.
I don't even
you can literally throw slop at them now. They'll just drink it down.
They'll eat it all up.
I don't even care.
It's the best meal ever.
They'll pick it up and complain they can't hold it.
You got dudes making $1 million with a freaking shark hand puppet, making millions of dollars just screaming. That's what the level of freaking content is nowadays.
Dude,
I didn't even watch any of those movies. It's hard. I've been watching a lot of series, like this year, like series and stuff. What I've been enjoying, of course, Better Call Saul. Enjoyed that.
Yes.
Hated to see it go. There's this other one called The Old Man that I've been enjoying. That one's pretty good.
Is that on FX?
I don't know what it is. I have like a little private little server thing where I can just watch whatever I want. Man, but
check out Outer Range. Check out Outer Range one time.
But stuff that makes you think, man. But the stuff that's in the mainstream, I don't really think that you can.
It's done.
Yeah,
it's done, man. Like
it's over, Prime. It's over.
Regular TV, the only thing
I don't even sometimes I feel bad for Critical Drinker when he's doing the reviews of certain things and Nerdrotic and all of those guys, because they're more talented than the stuff that they're reviewing.
That is true. My precious blacklist went down the drain.
Well, hold on. Everybody here on this panel and in the chat is more talented.
There you go.
Hear me out. No, hear me out. It's not trying to beat anybody up. It really isn't. What I'm saying is that between us on the panel and everybody in the chat, it goes back to what we were all talking about in the beginning. We understand story structure. We understand pacing. We understand overarching arcs. We understand subplots. We understand. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're ahead of the game. I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. It's just that we know how it works.
I know. The reason why I laugh is because we're not even paid, and most of us, we're not even like highly paid professionals to do this. And these people are being paid millions of dollars to grand scale fuck up. Okay.
It's done, bro.
But you gotta understand. But you gotta understand how the system works now. It used to be you moved up on merit. Now you fail upwards. That's what we got.
Yeah, and they keep recycling like the same 5. Like if I see The Rock in a movie one more goddamn time,
but you know what? I go you one better. I go you one better. The first thing they need to do is stop this bullshit about only a black person can write a black character. Only a Spanish person can write a Spanish character. Only a woman can write a female. That's the first thing they need to fucking do.
Shout out to Norman Lear. Shout out to Norman Lear.
It's the human experience. The human experience is universal. It's not trapped behind this whole paint job of phenotypical types. Because we're all human. We all go through the exact same thing. So it shouldn't matter what you got. You have to get the authentic experience. Is it authentically human? Is it a human being? And it's
Truism,
always
truism,
matters.
truism.
You
Truism, I
mean
have to
that?
give
You
you,
mean
I have
so
to give you a
that new
timeout.
that
I have to give you a
new Black
timeout
Panther?
right now. Truism. Stop crapping on the Black Manosphere.
But see, here's
And you know what?
but here's the thing. But
You know what?
here's the
Speak for
thing. Here's the
yourself. I'm
thing.
not
though.
human. I'm the future Soul King of Soul Society. So don't do.
Oh,
But the
my,
thing.
my,
But the thing,
my
but the thing
apologies,
about it
Isaac.
is,
Mama. My apologies.
but the thing about it is that that's the beginning of where it went wrong.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to rewrite history. Because they know that if they sat down and they look at all the most popular female heroes and characters in history, were all written by men. They were all like I said. I don't care if it's James Cameron with Terminator. I don't care if it's Chris Claremont with every female in the X-Men. I don't give a fuck if it's Marv Wolfman with all the females in Titan. That's the problem. And they don't want to accept it. And what's pissing them off is that they can't figure out how come, quote unquote, as usual, if a man can do it, how come we're not successful? And we actually are a female. But it's not about being a female. Again, it goes back to knowing your craft. That's all it is.
Lawrence, you think they're mad about not being able to make? No, I think they just literally want to tear it down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
I'm getting mad about not having the talent to actually create anything great. No, they get off on tearing it down and forcing you a bunch of bull.
I understand that, and I agree with you 100%. That's not my argument. I'm talking about it from our perspective. Fuck their perspective. From their
I got two examples for you.
From their perspective, yeah, you're absolutely right. They want to tear it down. I'm talking about how we're seeing it from our side.
I see it anyway.
Yeah, and even though that may be true, again, we still come down to the very. I'm telling you, we're all going to have jobs soon. I'm telling you.
Well, all right. Hey.
I look at it.
That would mean that that statement you made earlier about us and them, that really technically it wouldn't even be a fight because you'd have to have a weapon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said many a times before, and I had this conversation with a couple of them because there was a question about a story that was written in Marvel. It was a while ago though, a couple of years ago, in the very beginning when all this started. That one with the cover with Mockingbird on the cover of Spider-Man with the T-shirt that said "Ask me about my feminist agenda."
Oh Lord, yeah, man.
Yeah, and I had called him out on that, and it was a whole bunch of us. Like I said, we were talking about the story structure and the whole 9 yards, and they were getting upset. And I was like, okay, well, if you can't handle critique, then what are you in the business for? Because you're gonna get critiqued. But above all things, let me just break this down to you real quick. Maybe you could write a better story if you focused on that instead of spending time on Twitter. How about that?
Oh,
because that's because that's what they do. If you look at them, they're all on Twitter. They're all doing these block bots. They're all talking about stuff that ain't got nothing to do with anything. And even if it did, it don't matter. And even if it did, it don't matter. We're talking about the fucking story. I don't give a fuck about who you voted for.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm being honest. Even with all of us right here, right now, I don't give a fuck who you voted for. I don't.
Can you write the story?
Exactly. I care about the story. I care about whether or not the structure is done right. I care about whether or not we can get this mass marketed. I care about the promotion. I care about making the profit. That's all the fuck that matters to me.
Hey, you know what? They know all this shit. They don't care.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I just come out of nowhere with the cold water.
He changed my mind.
But you're right though, because at the end of the day, and this is why I keep saying it's changing, because we're already seeing these very same people who've been doing this for the decade are running GoFundMe's because they can't pay their rent.
Oh,
and I'm talking about serious people. I'm talking about Dan Slott and the rest of them writing at Marvel, because like I said, you can't sustain something like this. You just can't.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly first of all, if you're writing crappy stories, nobody's buying it. Number two, if you're on Twitter telling people "fuck you" and "kiss my ass," okay, you shooting away customers.
If you don't like it, then don't buy my book. Yeah,
Kelly Sue DeConnick.
Yeah,
and that's my main malfunction, because once they start talking like that, it's not about them no more. It's about the company. Because
Correct.
if I ran DC, the first thing I would fucking do is, who are you to run off my customers? The fuck are you smoking?
You know what? Y'all, if you think about it real hard, you know what you just said there, what they sound like.
Yeah, wait.
Y'all wait. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
wait.
This dude.
Well, sir, what does it sound like?
It sounds like whenever you cross the tracks and get to the nigga side of YouTube.
Uh-oh.
Wait. You have to. I was just listening for all this time, Isaac. Could you explain that? Expound on that a little bit.
No.
Break open the pinata, brother. Break open the pinata, brother.
I'm just gonna say, look, when you got a product that you want to sell, and then you complain about people don't want to buy it. You ain't got the game to apply it right. But anyway,
wait. Get out of there. But here's the thing, Eisen. They got the one ingredient that Zero has talked about for so many years. They need something like this.
Put that ass. 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 Put that ass.
Yeah. Just bring the women up, and then you can sell. Then you can sell.
Yeah. Say it with your tits,
bro.
Say it with your tits.
They really think that this Wakanda, this Black Panther movie is gonna be the movie of the year.
No.
It may not be the movie of the year. I guarantee you it's gonna sell.
It's gonna sell, man.
It's the crazy thing about it. These Strags had done the exact same thing. They ran the exact same play for the first Black Panther. They did the same old, dear white people, stay away from our movie. Don't you go. So now I'm waiting for them to walk it back like they did when Black Panther 1 came out. Because they
already
did the exact
did.
same thing. They already walked it,
bro.
They already walked.
Hold on.
I know it.
No. Hold on. It already happened, but it happened in reverse. There was a white woman who got banned from TikTok because she was telling white people not to go into theaters while black people are watching it, and that they should stay outside and create a perimeter to protect black people while they're inside watching it.
There it is. He beat me to it. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
That's a great idea.
Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa. Can you run that? Run that by me again. Say that.
There's a white woman who got banned from TikTok because she made a video that said white people should not go into the theaters when black people are in there watching it, or inside watching it. And if they are there, they should be outside and set up a perimeter outside the theater so nobody can go in and disturb black people while they're watching it.
You trying to tell me?
I saw that. Man.
It's funny.
You trying to tell me she wants white folk to form the circle of light from Ronin warriors while black people are freaking watching Black Panther?
Watching Black.
This is amazing.
Oh my god! No.
Said Black Panther is spiritual.
That's his own TV show by itself.
You remember when them Negroes we used to get up and go to every theater where the Black Panther was at, and they would have freaking African dances in the fucking movie theater? Remember that?
Do you not understand why?
Oh my god!
It's like finally that nigga is dead and we can rule.
Come on, man! And now they got They got the freaking the Daggle King now. Oh,
oh, no, that title is forbidden being talked over here. Let's not even go there.
Okay, my bad.
Let's not even go there.
Because I saw it. I don't even see the trailer. Every time when the trailer comes up on YouTube, I get skip ad.
Yeah.
As soon as I see it.
Truism. That whole thing is banned because that's a whole different subject. It's not even state of male entertainment anymore. It's now rewriting history based on how I feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Carpet history.
Why can't we bring back? Just bring back. Just bring back.
You already know it's gonna start a war with some of those white people. Start dragging it, and they're gonna be, it's racist. It's a black woman.
Yeah, man. And you know what? No, I want to know. That ain't what I want to know, SKC. I want to know what sucker gonna come out the woodworks to defend.
It's gonna be the usual suspects. It's gonna be the L Gibbets. It's gonna be them.
No.
It ain't gonna be the L Gibbets. No. In this case,
I'm talking about the men. Which one of the Jews?
Right. You don't need the L Gibbets for this one.
They're gonna come out anyway. They're gonna come out.
Well, I read that there was some type of L Gibbet that was playing a part of that Ironheart thing. It's like some RuPaul guy, something like that.
That's true. The Paul of Ru. The Paul of Ru.
Yeah, man. See.
That was a good one.
Hey, look.
I got the perfect summarization for entertainment today. We went from Mr. Rogers to Blippy TV. Then we also had Reading Rainbow to Jules TV.
Yeah, but we also had a purple Teletubby. We also had a purple Teletubby.
Okay, who's doing Sylvester?
Yes, he did.
Yep, Sylvester, Bert, and
Ernie.
Snuffleupagus was like obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And now Sesame Street is racist.
I thought Snuffleupagus. I thought he wanted to just snuff your luphagus.
Exactly.
Wait. Nobody went as hard on Sesame Street as Oscar the Grouch.
How about
Nobody went harder than Oscar the Grouch.
Look, hold on. I don't know because I found an old clip before he became famous of Luther Vandross performing on Sesame Street.
Right there. Enough right there.
They gonna have a Jules TV version of Sesame Street instead of Big Bird. They gonna have big chicken.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. As a matter of fact, you give me a second, I'll put it in the back chat.
Hey, was he hanging with Bert and Ernie?
No, it was him and a bunch of other black performers, man. And it was something about Count to 20 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen to my brother Count to 20.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that one.
I didn't know if he was hanging with Bert and Ernie.
It's too late. It's in the back chat.
Apologize.
It's crazy stuff. I noticed like years later. Y'all remember the Wendy's girl?
Oh yeah.
Okay, the original one.
When the Wendy's girl first got promoted, she was promoted as this like hot chick with the pigtails and red hair.
Yeah.
And then later, they just made her ugly.
Oh my God!
You know why? Right?
The actual Wendy showed up, and everybody was like,
But you know why, right? You know why? Because that original design. No, the original character was based off the owner's daughter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So they couldn't have that.
Well, I mean, when they had the hot looking Wendy, they sales went up, but then when they switched over, hardly anybody talks about, hey, I'm gonna go to Wendy's.
Just like Carl Jr. and Hardee's, the women that shake with the burger.
Yeah.
Sony just recently remastered one of their most popular games because the second one sold like ass. It was The Last of
Yo,
Us.
Eisen, why the hell you got this freaking Sambo shit on this dog on Sesame Street, nigga? What the fuck is this?
I didn't put no damn Sesame Street.
That was that wasn't Lawrence, but
Lawrence. My bad.
I was like, what? Wait, no,
hold on.
Altruism, you deserve this.
Hey, in SKC, we're just talking about people not reading, man. Just read that.
My bad.
Yo, Zero, you were saying something about The Last of Us. What was
so
that?
it was like one of the most. It was critically acclaimed both in like new and old media. It was basically like one of the best stories ever written.
Yeah, that first one.
And when part 2 came out, they character assassinated the main character because the guy who wrote it, he started getting blowsies from the feminist chick, Anita Sarkeesian, and she made him basically betray his own art. So
man, if that's one person that needs to be, oh jeez,
he went so far. Okay, so put this concept for a second. When the first game came out, and it got all of those accolades and awards, everybody was praising the fact that he wrote such a complicated character. It wasn't a hero, wasn't an anti-hero, just a dude trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. He also, he had a daughter. His daughter died in the most tragic way due to the fault of like people. Basically, you'd have to see it to understand what I'm saying if you haven't. And it was one of the best stories ever written. He goes on in the second game to betray that completely, going so far as to put himself in the game specifically so he could spit on the character after he was killed.
Wow!
All because of the movement, the agenda, the chicks. They put a gun to his head, and by gun I mean vagina. And he swapped everything about the game. He even changed the protagonist to a buff girl.
Yeah.
Kill your art.
But that's
kill it.
That's because
your art.
That's because of Anita and all them other ones and the Gamergate thing and all that. And here's the thing I keep telling people: you cannot bend the knee. You can't, because when you do, you will never get back up, ever.
Okay, and
you will always kneel.
What is it going to be next year? Mr. Pliskin, Snake is in a dress.
Revenge of the Nerds with Lamar as the main character.
But that's not. It's like Friezo said.
No.
Like Loki, he said, "You will always kneel."
You
You're
will
right.
always kneel,
You
man.
will always kneel.
Oh yeah, you will
metal penile gear.
We gotta have a line on our entertainment, man. I mean, the line kind of is what we saw with Top Gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because companies gonna have to realize that at some point, like, yo, I want to get that $1 billion too.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying earlier. Because you can only pull this off in good times, and as we see, those times are gone. Inflation and everything else. We got to start talking about making profit. And what makes it so crazy is that when it's all said and done, and you look back on this, it's going to be a decade of just useless nonsense. And like I said, you already see it happening, because the same people who are talking all this smack in comics and films about, well, this movie's gonna get all the male raged up, or this is not for you, this is for women. And when we don't show up, you get mad because it failed. You told us it wasn't for us. All these people are exactly doing what's going on now. I'm not lying. Go to GoFundMe, look up a specific name. These people are begging for money to pay rent because quote unquote times are hard. But if you were good at your craft, if you did what you were supposed to, and you stopped telling people to fuck off, you might have had a chance. Because what people fail to understand is that comic book page rates and the way they work is also tied into royalties. And in order to get royalties, you have to at least do 60,000 copies. But as I said earlier, if everything's only selling 20 to 30, you screwed.
Yeah.
And the average page rate for a top professional, take Marv Wolfman, is usually about $150 to $200 a page that he writes. These people are getting paid like $20, $30 a page.
Ooh.
Bro, but they don't care though, man. Because
because it's all about the agenda.
If you look at the profitability of CW, it's non-existent. They don't make a profit.
No, they don't.
They haven't made one in what, in over 10 years? They never made one.
But at the same time,
they're the WNBA of TV.
I was thinking the exact. But here's the thing. But here's the thing about that, though. Here's the thing about that. You can't necessarily put all that on. How can I put this? It's the current business model that's been in effect for the last 20, 30 years. It's not profit centered. It's about debt centered. That's why you got all these tech companies, they get overvalued at $5 billion. And when you really look at it, you'd be lucky if it's worth $100,000.
How about that?
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's a debt ratio system as opposed to a merit and profit base. That's why we have people who can go write a movie, it bomb, and then they get the next biggest thing by working on something for Steven Spielberg. They're failing upwards. That's just the way it is. It's like I said, it eventually will crash. It has no choice. It's the nature of things.
Kathleen Kennedy failed into like one of the most important positions at Lucasfilm.
No, she did not. No, she did not. No, she did not. No, she did not. Because George Lucas
gave it to her.
Right.
But she didn't fall. She didn't fall into shit. He picked her.
And now she fell into securing it. Failed into securing it though.
After she destroyed the franchise, she got a promotion.
They said we want more destruction.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Keep doing what you're doing.
More.
She destroyed Star Wars, and after she destroyed Star Wars, they rewarded her with a better job.
Yes, they did. They extended her contract, gave her a better job, and gave her more money.
Yeah.
Lord.
Wow. And look, and to the point that Zero's making about Top Gun, here's the thing. You can only do that whenever you actually own your own company. When you own the rights to that, that's the only reason why Tom Cruise can do that. Because he owns the rights to Top Gun.
Well, Tom Cruise is happy because this is, in all the years he's working, this is the first movie he's topped out $1 billion.
Oh.
So now let me ask you guys, how long do you think it's going to take before this pendulum starts picking up momentum when we start seeing a change?
I'm going to say another 20 years.
I already told you. To me, anywhere between the next 5 and 10.
So we'll just average out between what between what Lawrence said and also between Eyes and Simon. So we'll say 15 years.
I'm saying no less than 20.
I don't know. I think it stops when someone creates the same thing Tyler Perry did and then directs it at Male Entertainment.
Yep.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying so far. And that's why I'm saying it's really upon the creators, the new creators, to bring something new to the fold. It's not going to be done with the old stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to create their own studio just like TP did and just start pushing out the products.
Well, do you think maybe if they started out with an animated movie and started maybe doing it like a teaser on YouTube and then doing it from their website?
Animation is more expensive than live action. I mean, you could do it with a lot. You could do a live action pseudo. You could do a live action drama based on like an anime story. It could be detective based. It doesn't have to be all out guns blazing. Cinematic, special effects and stuff. It could be primarily dramatic and still work. It could be, for instance, Joker pulled that off. Joker wasn't like stellar with the explosions and cinematic woo and everything.
Yeah, it had a relatively low budget.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You could do the same thing, but it just takes somebody to actually get the studio off the ground and do it, because then no one's controlling you. No one's telling you what to do, and no one can stop you.
I don't think you'll be able to do that. Well, I mean, you could, but I think it'll have to work the same way it did with J.K. Rowling's. It's going to have to be something that becomes real tight and pros first, that gives you leverage to go into the studios.
Right. I mean, Tyler Perry did the same thing J.K. Rowling did. He got his leverage
Yeah.
first, created the studio, started pushing out the product. Yeah, it's the
Well,
same
he started.
thing.
Well, he started with stage and theater. Not everybody can do that, but everybody can
That's
sit at
true.
it. But everybody can sit at a laptop and write a prose novel for sure.
Right.
Well,
So,
well, what about auditory? Because that's an outlet that's not used. You know, radio was big to lead into TV.
You mean like audiobooks?
Yeah, kind of
Well,
like audiobooks, podcast
well, the way-
form. To that nature.
well, the way I see it, and I'm talking about doing this on a shoestring, right?
Yeah.
The way I see it is that you write a novel on your computer. You're done.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
don't necessarily need a publisher because everybody can self-publish nowadays. That's
Correct.
number one.
Mhm.
Number two, you get one good person with a voice. You have them do the audio book.
Yeah.
Number three, instead of doing stage productions, you do a live radio, old style radio program where people come to your channel and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? You're building yourself up slowly, and that way you can do it without having to need anybody else. Because, like I said, the novel you can self-publish. The audio book, you just hire one of your friends with a nice voice to read the novel. You move to the podcast where they're doing live dramas like old school radio from the 40s and 50s. You can do that on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? And you just build yourself. And then eventually, once people start seeing the dynamics of the novel sales, the audio book sales, and how many people are subscribing to your channel, I promise you, somebody's going to come looking for you. Guaranteed.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, Lawrence. That
and the only
it
reason,
needs
and
to
the only
be a
reason,
complete recycle.
right? And the only reason I did it that way, and that I broke it down that way, because like I said, that's shoestring budget.
Correct.
If you got money, you can go, different. But that's just bottom line shoestring budget, because you already got a computer. That's not going to cost you shit. Getting a website and hosting, dirt cheap. You know what I'm saying? YouTube, free. I mean, seriously, the most expensive thing you have to do, and that depends on whether you get a friend or you get a professional to do your audio book. That's probably the largest cost you're going to have if you want to get like a real actor or something like that. As far as it goes for the live radio drama thing on YouTube, get your friends together, have some fun. There's a lot of people on YouTube who do that.
But gentlemen,
Just read
this
the
is
script.
Master Way. It's that nice that we gotta start to close down shop.
What?
Master Oogway is spoken.
But we got off topic for a little bit. Next time we come up, man, next time we come up, I want to pick back up on this, on how we could do it ourselves and what would, what it would take and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Lawrence, give me your email, because that's some of the stuff that I'm already working on. So
Aren't you in the email string that Sigma sends?
I don't know.
Yeah,
oh, okay. So I may already have it.
Yeah,
okay,
you should have
I'll
it.
just contact you that way. All right, bro.
And then Zero,
All right, let
I'm
me
gonna
get up outta
get
here.
yours. I'm gonna get yours next time, and then BMT, I'm gonna get his as well, because like a lot of brothers want to come in on this discussion. So next month for sure there will be a part 2, but want to thank everybody for doing the series premiere of the State of Male Entertainment. This is what it's all about. Brothers just chilling and giving their thoughts on what's going on in the male entertainment world. But till next time.